Imagine waking up one morning and realizing your house has grown a brand new room overnight. No construction, no noise, no explanation. Just a door that wasn't there before. Would you dare to open it? It started on a quiet morning in late October. The kind of morning where everything feels slightly off, but you can't tell why. The owner of the house, Daniel, was making his usual cup of coffee when he noticed something strange, a door at the end of the hallway. The problem was, that door wasn't there yesterday. He stood there for a moment, confused. The walls were freshly painted last month. He knew every corner of that house. Yet somehow, this new door looked old, almost aged. Its wooden frame didn't match the rest of the hallway. At first, he thought maybe he was still half asleep. Maybe he just never noticed it before. But when he reached out and touched the doorknob, cold, metallic, and real, a shiver ran down his spine. He opened it slowly, expecting maybe a closet or some hidden space. But what he saw made his heart freeze. Inside was a room that shouldn't exist, perfectly built. Same flooring, same paint, same ceiling. But there was one thing wrong. There were no windows, and the air felt heavy, almost thick. And then he noticed something even stranger. On the inside wall hung a single picture frame, but the photo inside it wasn't of his family. It was of him, standing in that exact room looking terrified. That's when he realized this wasn't just another part of his house. Whatever this room was, it wasn't supposed to be there. Daniel couldn't believe what he was seeing. That photo on the wall, it wasn't just creepy, it was impossible. He stepped closer, staring at his own face frozen in fear, wearing the same clothes he had on right now. He backed out of the room and slammed the door shut. His heart was pounding so hard it hurt. He grabbed his phone, opened the camera, and started recording. If he told anyone about this, no one would believe him without proof. He filmed the hallway, the strange door, the doorknob, everything. But when he opened the door again, the room looked slightly different. The photo was gone. In its place was a mirror, and in the reflection, the room behind him looked empty, even though he was standing right in it. Panicking, Daniel called the man who built his house, a local contractor who'd worked on every inch of it. The guy swore there was never a door in that hallway, no hidden rooms, no secret spaces. Next, Daniel pulled out the house's blueprints. He spread them across his table, tracing every wall, every corner. The new room wasn't marked anywhere. It didn't exist on paper. By now, he was shaking. He even tried knocking on the walls around the hallway, hoping it was just some kind of optical illusion. But every knock echoed differently, as if the house itself had hollow spots that hadn't been there before. Then, later that night, something even stranger happened. When Daniel checked the footage he recorded earlier, the video stopped the moment he opened the door. The rest of the file was just static. Whatever this room was, it wasn't meant to be seen. By the next morning, Daniel couldn't stop thinking about that room. Sleep had been impossible. Every creak in the house sounded like a whisper. Every shadow felt alive. So, as the sun came up, he decided to face it again. He grabbed his phone, turned on the flashlight, and slowly opened the door. This time the room looked even bigger. The walls had shifted somehow, stretched further apart, like the house had grown overnight. The mirror from yesterday was still there, but something had changed. In the reflection, Daniel could see faint movement behind him, like a figure standing just over his shoulder. When he turned around, nothing. The air inside felt colder now, damp and heavy. He could smell something metallic, like rust or blood. The floor creaked under his steps, but what made him stop was the sound coming from inside the walls. A slow, dragging noise, like something was crawling through them. On the far end of the room, there was a table that hadn't been there before, and on that table was another photograph. It showed the room exactly as it was now, except in this one, the door behind Daniel was closed. He spun around, and sure enough, the door had shut itself. He ran toward it, twisting the knob, pounding on the wood. It wouldn't budge. The light on his phone flickered. For a split second, he saw words scratched into the wall, faint, uneven, like carved with nails. "Stop opening the door." And just as suddenly as it began, the door unlocked. Daniel stumbled out, gasping for air, slamming it behind him. But when he looked back, the door was gone. The wall was smooth again, as if nothing had ever been there. Except, the next night, it came back. After Daniel's story spread online, everyone had their own theory. Some thought it was a glitch in reality, a rare moment where dimensions overlapped and the house accidentally connected to something that wasn't meant to exist in this world. Others said it was supernatural, that maybe the land the house was built on wasn't empty to begin with, that something old was buried beneath it, something that wanted a way back in. A few people dug deeper, uncovering a local legend about a man who lived there decades ago. According to the story, he was an architect obsessed with designing the perfect home, but before he could finish his masterpiece, he went missing, and his blueprints were never found. Some believe Daniel's house might be built on top of his unfinished design, and that the missing room was simply completing itself. Then there were the darker theories, the ones people whispered about but never proved. Some claimed the room was alive, that it fed on curiosity, that every time Daniel opened the door, the house grew stronger, and another part of him disappeared. A few paranormal experts even suggested that the house wasn't growing rooms at all. It was growing memories, and every new room would hold a piece of whoever dared to enter it. Of course, skeptics tried to explain it logically. Maybe it was sleep deprivation, a hallucination, or a clever internet hoax. But even the most rational people couldn't explain the one fact no one could ignore. Every person who visited Daniel's house after that reported the same thing. They all swore they saw an extra door. But when they tried to open it, it was always locked. A few weeks after the story went viral, Daniel vanished. His car was still in the driveway, his phone left charging on the kitchen counter, but Daniel himself was gone. The police searched the entire house, every floorboard, every wall. No sign of a struggle, no clues, just silence. But during the search, one of the officers noticed something strange. The hallway where the mysterious door had appeared was slightly longer than it used to be, only by a few inches, but enough to make you wonder. When they checked the blueprints again, that section of the hallway didn't match the house's real measurements anymore. It was as if the building had stretched, grown, all on its own. Days later, a new family moved in. They had no idea who Daniel was or what had happened there. For them, it was just a quiet house in a quiet neighborhood. But one night, the new owner's daughter told her mom she couldn't sleep because someone kept knocking from inside the wall. When her mother checked, she found nothing, except for faint scratch marks near the baseboard, and right beside them, carved into the wood, were two words: "I'm here." No one knows what really happened to Daniel. Some say he was pulled into that room, that he became part of the house itself. Others believe he never existed at all, that the story was the house's way of spreading, like a virus, jumping from one mind to another. But one thing's for sure, if you ever wake up to find a door in your house that wasn't there before, don't open it. Some mysteries never really end. They just wait for someone new to discover them. Daniel's house might be gone, sold, rebuilt, Or maybe still standing quietly at the edge of town, growing piece by piece when no one's looking. Maybe the real question isn't what that room was, but why it appeared at all. Was it calling to him? Testing him? Or was it just waiting for the next person curious enough to open the door? Because curiosity is dangerous. It starts small, a question, a thought, a whisper in the dark. But sometimes, curiosity doesn't lead to answers. It leads to something that never lets you go. So, if you ever find yourself standing in front of a door that shouldn't exist, walk away. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next one. Bye for now.